Loz, it's the question the whole state is asking this morning. Are you 1 to 17?
Yes, we are. Yeah. It was great last night to see Brian do the majority of the session. I think he might have done it all. And Payno did little bits and pieces. But given the circumstances surrounding his back, we just felt like it's just better off to have him right on the night rather than having him right 2 nights out. So we give him a bit of extra time. He's, a guy that can handle that. So we've got no issues now. So yeah, they're all settled. They're all well. Now we've just got to get it on.
Would you say he's 100%?
Payne?
Would you say, yeah?
Oh yeah, he will be. He will be by Wednesday. He's a tough bugger. He's able to play with pain, so yeah. He's able to play with a bit of discomfort. So yeah, no, he'll be okay.
Has Brian got anything else to tick off for you today?
No, the only thing, I saw him at Brekkie and he was walking around all right and he was smiling. So I didn't want to ask him how he pulled up, but he seemed like he did, and the physios haven't said anything to me. So I checked my phone at 7 o'clock this morning, there was no messages, so I was like, yeah, that's a good sign.
And Stefano and Hudson too, they were probably more of a concern earlier in the week, but they're fine?
Yeah, they were just sort of ongoing sort of issues that they had for a number of weeks, so it's just about managing them, and that's the way they've been prepped for their clubs. So we've just sort of tried to follow the same program they've been on. So it's one of those things that coming to camp this time of year after 18 rounds, 19 rounds NRL, coming into their third Origin game, everyone's just got bumps and bruises. So it's just sort of managing them guys as best we can.
Quite simply, Laurie, like how relieving is it? Because it could have been concerning, right? Through camp, you might not know if they were going to make it or not, so it must be a relief.
Yeah, well, it is because you're unsure. But now that we've got the thumbs up, so it just gives everyone sort of certainty now about where we're at. We didn't know with Brian. I mean, it's a ligament injury, so you just weren't sure how it was going to recover. So the physios have done a remarkable job, and I think that's the other thing when you come into a camp like this. It's 24/7, the amount of time, their physios are with them and they're doing all sorts of things with them. So yeah, it's pretty good, the treatment they get.
Can you just talk about what's been made about your loyalty throughout this game with these guys and just your philosophy on that? And I wonder if it harks back to your experience as a player and having that contribution.
Yeah, I think if you make changes, you've got to look at it to see whether you're going to be a better team for it, making those changes. Or you work out whether you think that you will be better as a series goes on. And, what I've seen of this team, the way they've prepared and what they did in the second half in game 2, I just know they haven't reached anywhere near what they're capable of doing. So, give them another opportunity and, I'm confident we'll bring our best game of the series tomorrow.
Have you touched on Queensland's record in deciders? Obviously they've got quite a superior record over the Blues when it comes to game 3.
No, I haven't touched on a record. What I've touched on is we get a great opportunity to win a game in front of 80,000 people, our home deck. These are games you want to play in and just embrace the occasion and enjoy it.
Has that uncertainty around those players disrupted your preparation of the game?
No, because I've told Jacob that, look, you just prepare like you're playing, and if we pull Brian out an hour before the game, then you're in. So get your head around that. And if we don't, then you'll be 18th man and you might get a run anyway. And we're always very confident Payne was going to play. But we're unsure of actually how much training he was going to do. But, the players, I think they're well aware of what Payne can bring. So I don't think anyone's worried about him going in underdone, so to speak, because I think the freshen up will probably do him all the good.
Well, it seems like Cam Munster will play, certainly saying what everyone's talking about. But if he doesn't, how much work do you put into Reece Walsh being a 6 and how much would that change the way you guys are taking that?
Yeah, I think like in game 1 and 2, a lot of our prep has just been done on us. So I'm just more than confident that if we play the way we want to play, we'll give our best performance. So I'm not too concerned about what Queensland may or may not do. But one thing that I really feel is genuine emotion for Cameron and his family, what they're going through, because it'd be very difficult. And I know that he'll have the love and support around him of the team and the state. And, you know, our team are thinking of him as well. You know, a lot of the guys know him. You know, we've got Frank and Craig in our squad who are from Melbourne, and, you know, they see sort of Cameron as like a son, and, you know, they're doing it tough as well. So we just hope he's okay, and, it's a difficult circumstance. I've never been sort of involved in an environment where, you know, someone's father has passed a couple of days for an event, and, you know, just shows you there's more important things than a game of footy.
How do you handle Shibasaki? Does it, you know, provide a bit of unpredictability to their lineup?
He's done really well this year. He's strong with the ball, and he's strong defensively. So he's a big man, and our guys are well aware of what he can do. So, Dean Young coached him at the Cowboys when he was up there, and obviously he's gone and played rugby union, and Madge got him back this year, and he's played some really good footy. So he's someone we're going to have to do a really good job on.
Laurie, it's a sellout at home, let alone a decider on top of that as well. Can you just talk about the pride in getting to have this opportunity playing in front of your home fans?
Yeah, I think, I know that I don't think any of our boys have played in the decider at home, so that's a special occasion in itself. And I think it'll be one of the great experiences they'll have, running out in front of a packed house and knowing what's on the line. And I think these guys are sort of go-getters. They want to be a part of the big games, and they want to chase it. They want to have good memories when they finish. So this could be one of them.
What about for you personally? I was
Sorry,
going to say, what about for you personally too, Laurie? You've achieved so much as a player and as a coach already in the Origin arena, but what does this opportunity present for you, and how do you feel about the chance ahead?
I think it'll be more reflection when it's over. I'm not reflecting on anything just at the moment. All I'm doing is just trying to prepare these blokes as well as I can, and they're a passionate group. I know we always hear that Queensland have more spirit than us, but these guys they understand what Origin's about. They get it. They know they've got to turn up and represent our people with great pride and passion, and those displays and those actions. Those actions will be on display tomorrow night.
Laurie, Isaiah brought up that the players have reflected within themselves about your career in the blue jersey. Have you spoken much to them about that?
I talk to them every day about it.
It seemed like
No, I haven't actually. No, I try to sort of stay well away from what I was doing, because these blokes are at a different level to what we were. I didn't know that. Stay well away from my career.
You mentioned the Queensland spirit just then before. I think it's 45 years to the day today since State of Origin first started. Queensland had the running from the start. They just had this spirit, right? Does that narrative rate you more and more as a coach now? Did it as a player? How much does it annoy you because you know how much it means?
Yeah.
Blue jersey means to you.
I think it does. I think everyone has their own take on it, but all I can speak from is personal experience as a player and as a coach, and I think it means just as much to me. And I know, speaking to Yowie, it just means as much to him. And all our players really want to pull on that Blues jersey. They understand the history of Origin. They understand what they need to do. But whether that counts or not tomorrow night, I'm unsure. But what I do know is that they're very proud of playing for New South Wales. They've trained well. and I'm confident they'll give their best performance of the series tomorrow night.
We might better see a freer kicking game from Nathan Cleary in the decider.
He's trained really well this week. He won't goal kick. We've taken those responsibilities away, but no, general play, he'll be okay. He'll be fine.
Obviously, very excited. Obviously, heading into a big game, players are chasing greatness, chasing to lift that trophy. How is it about balancing the emotions for those players in the early stages of the game and, balancing the excitement and the energy and eagerness of wanting to do well?
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I think sometimes if you're too emotional, you can be ill-disciplined, and we learned our lesson in game 2. So we've got to be disciplined. We've got to hang on to the ball, and we've got to channel the energy in the right fashion. So and the emotion in the right way. So it's something we've spoken about. But if the same thing happens as it did in game 2, we'll be a lot better prepared to handle that.
Talking about chasing greatness, sorry Tracy, Nathan hasn't won a decider yet. Nathan Cleary, he's done everything in the game. He will be an immortal of the game. Do you feel that he needs to grasp this arena?
No, I think that Nath is such a hard worker, such a humble young man. Everything he's done in the game, you wouldn't know it. He's a team first person, and again, any successful team you play in, you have to have the team to be selfless. And I know that people get written up as being the stars, but you need selfless players, and not only is he a wonderful player, but he's a selfless player. To have that combination in our team and in a key position, and the composure that he has, gives me great confidence.
Great.
I guess the obvious question is, did everyone get through, and are you on the same team?
Yeah, as far as I know, obviously the question mark's probably been over Biz and Payno, but they've done everything that we've asked them to do and what the plan was for them leading into the game. So Biz did most of the session last night, got through unscathed, and Payne did the parts that he needed to do. So it's sort of probably been like that the whole campaign, to be fair, but there's two blokes to do it. I think Payne was our man of the match in game 1 and Biz was our man of the match in game 2 off sort of limited preparation flowing into it. So no, they've both been fine. And yeah, I guess we've got today and then it's all ticked off, so no, that'll be fine.
How important is that a play session for you guys last night?
Yeah, it was good. I feel like we've done that over the whole campaign. We've had whether it be 2 or 3 opposed sessions or have teams come in, so we're obviously very, very grateful for those boys who come in and do that. But no, it was good. It was sort of being out there on the core surface. Obviously that's what we're playing on Wednesday night, so no, I think any time you can sort of do something like that, particularly in a big game, I think that's good for the boys to do, and we train well.
Is there any opportunity in Queensland with that? Is that something you guys can use in your favour?
I'd like to think so. I think you do things in your week and in your camp that you think that's going to give you the best chance to be at your best. So we felt that was the case for us, and no, it was a really good hit out.
Is there any concern that players are carrying niggles into a decider?
I think if you'd ask Queensland, they'd be in the same boat. So at this time of the year, I think there's always going to be players that have got niggles. We're around 18 and 19 in the NRL comp, and then the boys have been lucky enough to play Origin. It's sort of pushing or nudging near 20 games already. So I think that's normal. I think that's and you pick players who you feel like can push through those, and like I touched on, the Queensland are in the same boat.
What about Stefano and Hudson Young too? We saw them earlier in the week,
Yep.
struggling a little.
Yeah, they were probably more limited at the start, but they both fully trained last night, so no, they're fine.
Yoey, I know that you have confidence in those players to always get up, but how relieved are you to be in this position where they are going to be able to play?
Yeah, obviously very relieved, just particularly on the 2 boys that probably had the question mark mostly, but I think sort of they've shown how much they mean to this team, how good they play on the big stage. So it is nice to sort of have them both come through unscathed out of our big session last night. So I'm very pleased.
Bit of a... Sorry, you go.
How much of those injuries disrupted you guys' preparation going into this game?
No, they haven't, and I think we've sort of been lucky that you carry in your 20 and then you can have your extra players in there as well. So I think that sort of helps at the start of the week, but then come sort of the back end of the week, like I touched on, they've been in, so it's been fine.
Bit of a different captain's run, not captain's run, but a training run too, doing it in the twilight session. How much did you try and emulate what it was going to be like on game day?
Yeah, there's definitely a bit of that just to see. Obviously, it gives you a bit of a bit of an insight to what the service might look like come kick-off time. But I think some clubs already do that, like have their sort of the 2 days prior to the game have sort of afternoon sessions. So I don't think that's not new for most clubs, I don't think. But I think it certainly gives you insight just to probably the surface and the conditions that it might be. So every little thing matters in a big game. So yeah, that was good.
Do you do any work about if Cam Munster doesn't play and Reece Walsh plays?
Yep.
Can you put any work into that scenario?
No, we've sort of obviously spoken about what could be, but I guess just on that, I'd obviously send my condolences out to the Munster family, Cam, and the rest of the family. I can't imagine what they're going through at the moment. I feel like the NRL, as much as we sometimes hype up sort of rivalries and that, I think there's some things that supersede that. And when that is the case, I feel like the NRL community really rallies behind the people involved. So, obviously, just on behalf of the playing group and the whole sort of Blues staff and organisation, we'd send our condolences out to the Munster family. Like I touched on, I couldn't imagine what they're going through. But just in terms of footy terms, we sort of maybe discussed that what the options could be. But we're probably thinking Cam will play. But obviously very sad times for them.
Queensland has a superior record in deciders, and obviously they're going to be playing on a lot of emotion, especially Cam Munster. Does that make them more dangerous?
No, I feel like there's always emotion that comes with a decider. Obviously, there's different things that have happened. Different team that's obviously been named as well, with certain players coming in. But at least you can control what you can control. So I feel like we've done that. We've spoken about what we need to do to be at our best, and obviously, there's certain things like you've touched on there that will motivate Queensland. But we're just worrying about ourselves at the moment, and I think that's important in the decider. You need to make sure your own house is in order, and you need to be out there giving yourself the best opportunity to play your best game. So that's what all we've done.
Are you a guy that visualises success, Joey, and can you picture yourself as captain lifting that shield at 10 o'clock tomorrow night? No. I feel like I've sort of touched on previously. I feel like I do a good job of internalising it, just sort of focusing on what I think matters the most, and that's sort of been our prep and the lead up to that, the game. So, I probably haven't thought about it too much, to be fair. I haven't thought about what might happen. I'm just trying to give myself the best opportunity to play our best game on Wednesday. So, I feel like I've done a pretty good job of that.
Joey, no doubt you would have liked to have wrapped up the series in game 2, but how excited are you by the opportunity of playing in the decider and winning the decider as well?
Yeah, well, I think if you were to ask any of the boys at the start of the campaign if you could go and have a decider at home for all the chips, I think you'd take it. So, obviously Perth was disappointing. Just missed opportunity. The way we shot ourselves in the foot in that first 40 minutes, and we just weren't quick enough to learn our lessons in that game. I was really proud of the effort at the back end of the game and giving yourself a chance, but really disappointed with the missed opportunity. But I guess being able to have a good performance up at Suncorp game 1, it gives you a chance now to try and rectify that and take the series at home. So we're really excited for that, and it's been a wonderful week. It's been a wonderful campaign, I think, in general. But the reality is, it's a results business. So we need to be ready to go tomorrow night. We're looking forward to it.
Just on that, Joey, when you obviously you want to win that game too, but the way you finished it, to put that many points on that play, gives you a lot of momentum going into game 3. Is that how you feel about that?
I think it should give us confidence. Momentum, it's 2.5 weeks since, or 3.5 weeks since you would have last played. So I don't know about momentum, but it should give us confidence that if we can get the style of game on, and it's probably been the statement of the whole camp from both sides, that you just want to get your game on. So I think they've said that a few times, and we've said it a few times. So you just want to give yourself a chance. Confidence should come out of that last 40, but then you probably, if you were to go and ask them, they'd probably go, we've learned our lessons from that 40 minutes as well. So I guess when both teams are doing that, it makes for a really, really good decider, and it should be a cracker.
Lifted the shield in enemy territory last year. What would it mean to lift the shield in front of Blues fans?
Well, it'd be nice, obviously. The support that they've shown us throughout the whole campaign has been outstanding in our state. They're the people we're playing for. And you'd like to do it. And hopefully come tomorrow night about 10 o'clock we can for them. But they're going to be super important for us tomorrow night, the atmosphere they bring, the noise they bring, and we're looking forward to that.
What's the key to putting a full game together? Obviously, both teams being able to put halves together but not a complete game. What is the key to that?
Obviously keeping your emotions in check at certain times, getting your sort of best game on, trying to find your rhythm, and just leaning on your preparation. I think it's you want to make sure you've had a really good preparation in the lead up, and I feel like we have, particularly this game, and you can just tell it's got that decider feel about it the way we've prepared. So that's important. You want to be able to keep your emotions in check. And I guess that's probably on leaders and the spine to be able to do that. And we probably didn't do a good enough job in the second game in that first half. So, you want to be able to learn from your lessons, and I'd like to think we have.
Just on the same 17, like how important is that to have that cohesion with the same blokes running out?
It certainly helps, and I think it just helps that Loz has got the confidence in the players, and as a player, you can feel that when he's willing to stick by you. That's a big part of it, and you're not treading on eggshells after a loss. He's instilled it from the jump that he's got confidence in this playing group, and then I guess it's up to us to obviously repay that with performances. So well, myself personally, I think it's always a good thing when you can have the same and have that cohesion there. But then again, it's up to you need to go out there and perform as well and pay that back. So.
Have you seen a difference in Loz between game 1 to now?
No, not really. He's been outstanding for us this whole campaign. The trust he gives to the group, the confidence he gives to the group, it's been the same from games 1 to game 3. You can see how much the jersey means to him, how passionate he is for it, and obviously just off the back of that, how much he actually did put into the jersey when he was a player is, I think, sort of as the generation sort of starts to go a little bit more the other way, you can sort of forget how much he actually did in our Blues jersey, and he'd go down as arguably the greatest Blues player we've had. So. What he's shown in that jersey, we obviously need to go and try and emulate as well. So, he's been outstanding from game 1 to game 3.
Yeah, well, you touched on it just before, but can you give us an insight into the attitude and just the atmosphere around the boys this week and what you're seeing from your teammates?
Yeah, I think there's definitely just been not a big shift. I feel like their whole campaign's been really good, but you can just sort of probably sense there's been a bit of a shift in intensity and understanding that it's a decider. So, I think that's the exciting part. You can just feel it's got that really big game feel about it, and I think it shows that every State of Origin game's important, but when you get to a decider, it's just that there's that little bit more. Everything's on the line now, so you can probably just I've been really happy, really proud of how the group's prepared this week. But ultimately, like I've already touched on, it comes down to putting your best foot forward tomorrow night, and we're looking forward to doing that.
There was a thought, sorry Trace, last week that you'll be scrapping the tunnel walk. One, is that true? And two, is that about keeping your emotions in check, not getting too wrapped up by having that whole walk?
Yep, I've got our media manager here next to me, but I don't think we're doing it. And it's probably a bit of that. That can be a really good thing, but then probably previous years it probably hasn't served us overly well just in terms of that emotion. And I think it's just about being a bit more normal. I think any sort of big game you play at a core normally is you're in the tunnel. You're in the actual core sheds. So I think that's probably more the thinking about it. It was probably getting tossed up a little bit last year as well, and we chose to go with the tunnel, and then obviously the incident happens pretty early on, and you may sort of go hindsight, but I think it's just a bit more normality to it. You warm up in the sheds, you sort of do what you normally do for a big game, so I think that's probably the way we're going to go.